boxes, and this, and this to save money. Oh, by the way, you're now doing 24 races a year, this many sprint races, this, and this, and now you've got to develop 2 engines within 5 years. Have fun. Cities who have capacity for thinking well outside the box might think this is another way of delaying Andretti's bid for getting into Formula 1. They have the 2026 regulations, only to then announce new ones that make Andretti go, yeah, alright then, we won't bother with 2026, we'll go with the 2030 ones instead, because we'll be at the same level as everybody else then. I think I might be the only person saying that. I've not seen anybody else say.
I don't know if there's only me in here in this voice chat. See if anyone joins. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, yeah, penultimate round of the season. And, well, yeah. Last race we had Canada in T1, and the winner was F1 Kid in that race, in that sort of a hectic race for our championship rivals. The championship contenders in general. F1 Kid finished in P1, Vampy P2, Oscar a debutant P3, Scorenzy P4, Consular P5, Waves P6, Chimp P7, VisileBoar only P8, Jimmy only P9, and then Yengaboy round off the top 10, and then there's 2 Chesneys and then Laurie rounding off the drivers that actually finished the race. Then there's Trilla, Shax, Shocker, Vabo, Albo, TLW, and Rob DNF. But after a bit of a shake-up last race, this means that VisileBoar still can win the championship in this Grand Prix, because he has a 20-point lead over Jamie, 21 over his teammate Vampy, and 24 over Aston Martin's F1 Kid. So it's the top 4 that fight out for the championship at the moment, with VisileBoar having a good chance of rounding off this championship here in Qatar. Now we have to as well remind us that Drilla, Fresh, but most importantly Vampy have quali bans now as well. Drilla has a race ban, but we talk about Vampy because Vampy is the championship contender going into this penultimate round of the season. He's in P3 with 21 points behind his teammate VisileBoar. So it makes it a little bit difficult for him, especially on a track that isn't really known for being easy to overtake at and easy to race at. It's mainly for TTs, for driving, just like that. But yeah, VisileBoar needs to hold up. So VisileBoar needs to outscore Jamie by 8 points, Vampy by 6 points, and then F1 Kid by 3 points. So if VisileBoar wins this Grand Prix with a fastest lap, then he'll be able to win the championship no matter where anyone else is. If he wins, it doesn't matter where Vampy and F1 Kid will be, because they'll be out anyways. But with Jimmy, if he finishes P2, it is still going to be 1 point. He's going to be just about 1 point in there. So basically, as well as if VisileBoar finishes P10, P2, which is 18 points, then Jimmy needs to be, for him, that is 10 points, that is P5. Whilst F1 Kid would need to be, well, ahead of him to keep his championship alive, minimum. And then Vampy would need to be, well, P3 minimum. And then in the constructors as well, AlphaTauri will win the title if Ferrari failed to outscore them by 19 points, and then Ferrari by 34 points. So as well, for the AlphaTauri boys, it's very likely that they will get the constructors here round up as well. They just need to really keep both Aston Martins and Ferraris within their tally, especially well, Ferraris they don't really need to keep anywhere because there's only one Ferrari. Drilla has a race ban and a quali ban. Race ban for this race and then a quali ban for next race. So Ferrari are fucked. In terms of the constructors, they won't even have a chance to get. They don't even have a chance to even try and get that constructors championship for the next race, at least trying to extend that, because they only have one race and they need to outscore AlphaTauri by 34 points, and that is quite literally impossible. Even if you have a sprint race and everything, it is still impossible. But Aston Martin, they have F1 Kid, they have Scorinzi. In Canada, Scorinzi and F1 Kid could have a beautiful result of 1-4. Now F1 Kid, of course, is very quick, but then Scorinzi, one race, it's kind of difficult to estimate where he's going to be, of course, with VisileBoar being spun, and then as well Jimmy being spun, and then all the shits and that happened last week, so we could maybe see Scorinzi being a little bit further down than top 5. I'm not saying that he will be, but we could see he's going to be a little bit down there, especially that in Canada he qualified P10. So that P4 could have been just big luck, fluke. Although as well, you need in this game, in this sport, as well, a little bit of luck in your races as well to win the races. Haas, interestingly, have Szczesny 1-9, the other Szczesny in tier 2, and then it looks like no one. So it is very likely for Haas to still continue. They're only 7 points. They're only 7 points scoring. Well, basically, they could be going for the lowest ever points tally in HR history. At least in tier 1. That's so far that I know. But the seasons that I've been, it's gonna be the lowest in history in any sort of tier. It doesn't matter where. It is gonna be the lowest. So yeah, it's not looking great for Haas at the moment. It is not looking great for Haas. Yeah, it is a constructor in HR tier 1 history. They still need 18 points from the final 2 races. That is going to be a lot for them. If they have, through the 8 races, they've only scored 7 points, then it will be, well, very unlikely that they will be able to get anything. Looks like that will be alone. No one ready. Yeah, so for the top 4 guys, basically VisileBoar, Vampy, F1 Kid, and Jimmy, they have all clear points, not points, but goals in this race to finish, of course, as high as possible, to outscore, of course, besides VisileBoar, the three behind, they need to outscore VisileBoar at least in this race. And for VisileBoar, he just needs to keep close to them. He just needs them to be behind and not ahead. If they're going to be behind, then it's going to be even better for the next race, which is in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, he just needs to keep them behind, whilst F1 Kid, Jimmy, and Vampy, they have the quite opposite. They need to be in front. They need to make sure that they're in front of VisileBoar in this Grand Prix. Now, Vampy has a quali ban like there. He already retires from the session, so he's going to be on a little bit of a back foot going into this race, with, of course, being a little bit dirty in terms of penalty points, because nothing too serious, like in terms of maybe there is that everyone is gonna hate you or anything, or something else. I don't know. I can't think of anything else really. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, we have Konslav, VisileBoar, Szczesny, Riz, Chimp, Jammy, Scorency, Shax, Trent, Clipsy, Alex, Fresh, Szczesny, and F1 Kid on track. Like you pointed out, Vampy, Fresh has a quali ban, but he's out there on track. Now, there's going to be something that we're going to have to monitor for him, at least for now. Is he going to be going... I don't know if it's completely allowed to just go out there on track and then retire into the pit to just test out the track and all. I'm going to just look at it. I mean, he's using plenty of ERS, so... Yeah, he's going into the pit, so he's just doing just one lap, just like that, to check the track and that, which I believe it is legal. I believe, no clue. Anyways, Szczesny, first sector, 26.910 through the first sector. Consola, we don't know yet, because he hasn't done a first sector. Let's look at Szczesny though. Through this whole lap, there's yellows in the final corner. There's an Alfa Romeo and an Alpine. Their own little shenanigans. So we are missing one Ferrari, one Haas. Szczesny, second sector, 54.093, whilst Clipsy 53.958. So Clipsy at the moment is going just a tad bit faster than Szczesny. But now Szczesny through into the final corner, turn 16, and under this long ass straight start finish straight, and Szczesny is going to go provisional pole position 121.470, but Clipsy goes behind Szczesny 21.510. He must have lost this on that final sector somewhere. Then Alex is going to probably cross, no that was Consola, sorry, crossing line, and he goes slower than Clipsy, 21.667. Then we have Szczesny, Riz, Szczesny's brother Riz, and where is he gonna go? It's gonna look like he's gonna in front. Yes, he goes in front by almost a tenth, 121.380, but Chimp immediately goes faster, 121.112 in the Mercedes. Now, Younger Boy, where is no, sorry, actually Vabo is gonna be starting this up. Then we have Shax, who's gonna cross the line. It's not gonna be P1, it's gonna be P6, the last driver on the grid, 21.955, as Scorsese goes into 120s, 120.905, the first driver to go into 120s. But then Jamie, where is he going to go? He's going to go P1, 120.824. It is looking good for Scorsese at the moment. SLK, P9, 122.065. F1 Kid behind his teammate. This is very interesting by Scorsese at the moment. P2 at the moment for him. Ahead of his own teammate, the F1 Kid, 20.964 with Yengaboy 6,000. No, that's not 6,000. That's 7,000 behind F1 Kid, 120.971. SRK 22.065. Vabo, where is he gonna go? 53.612 at the moment for him through the second sector. So it's gonna be somewhere close to his teammate Josh at the moment, aka Yingboy. The air is open, of course, into this start-finish straight, and no ERS. And Vabo is gonna go between the Mercedes. He's gonna split them, and P6 21.174 for the McLaren. Shelly Riss is gonna be going for another lap, although it's not really profitable to go for another lap like that. But okay, it is what it is. Laurie invalidated his this and next lap, I guess. Alex, second sector, 53.740. It's not looking the greatest at the moment for him. I mean, the moment it looks like he's gonna be behind Vabo. In the meantime, Fresh has retired, like he should have. Close to the track limits on the exit of turn 15. It was now into turn 16. Good on the track, of course the traction, but that's what the track limits. No ERS to go and no fuel as well. And Alex is going to go P7, 21.211 by the Red Bull. Behind Vabo, like I predicted. Now VisileBoar started his lap. His first lap. Anyone actually on a flyer? Youngerboy definitely not. Vabo no. Chesney, Riss. Not anymore. He invalidated it through turn 14. The two Williamses out on their out laps. Yeah, it is only VisileBoar at the moment who is on a lap. With VisileBoar 26.565 through the first sector. Apparently fastest first sector. We'll see if that's going to be true when he's going to be going the second sector and then the final sector, where we're going to see the actual time of his. Now, second sector, what's it going to be? At 53.4 dead. So he's going for a very good lap here, VisileBoar. Could he go provisional pole position? There's going to be our answer soon. Close to the track limits, of course, as you need to be on this track. You can really invalidate at every single corner. Seriously, on every single corner. VisileBoar, the area is open, no ERS though, to the finish line, and VisileBoar is going to go provisional pole position. Yes, he does. 120.807, just at 17 thousandths in front of Jamie for that provisional pole position. So VisileBoar is doing his job that he's supposed to do. But of course, this is only quali and his first lap, and we still have a half of qualifying to go. Now, can we get these yellows off, because they are kind of annoying, because I don't see time. Laurie is gonna complete his lap with the that's Consular starting his lap. Laurie 54.030. We are not 9 minutes, so we still have half the qualifying to go. Laurie goes P13, 121.842. Clipsy is improving by almost a tenth through that second sector, and that would put him in front of Chesney, but behind Chesney, Riss. So between Chesney's basically. Comes out to the first sector. He's improved by 3.5 tenths to the first sector alone. Now Clipsy, where is he gonna go? Is he gonna go between Chesney's? No, he's gonna go in front of Alex even. 21.209, 2 thousandths in front of Alex. It's very good for him. On Constella now, second sector split. How much is he going to be improving? He's lost a 10 there, but he's still 2.5 tenths up on his time through that second sector. He, at the moment, is going to be going about between Chesney's, and he completely misses the corner and invalidates. So his lap is gone, and just like that. Lowry not on a flying lap, of course. SLK probably on a flyer, as he's using his ERS. Trent as well, probably on a flying 53.267 by Trent, but he's invalidated that. SLK, no idea what his second sector was. Now, may I just check before he's gonna go into the pits and that lap is gonna completely go. Trent was going faster than VisileBoar. That is madness. That from the races that he has shown us, by the way, SLK P13 21.7711. Trent, from the races that he has shown us, what he's done, that is bloody impressive. Like, he was in the mid-table usually when he raced this season, when he joined. But now all of a sudden he was going for a fucking provisional pole position there, which is fucking mad. Yes, I know, the provisional pole position and all, but still fucking provisional pole position. You can't take away from a lad that he's on provisional pole position, even though if he did the time first and he did the fucking 3:30, still provisional pole position. But like that is of course even better, but sadly he invalidated through the triple right-handers. Lowry starting a time. We don't talk about that time that he did. Scornsey started his lap and he's starting it with a banger. 91 thousandths through the first sector already. With that, he's going to be going behind VisileBoar, but still you have 2 sectors remaining. Younger boy through the first sector is improving. Yes, he is, but by 18 thousandths. VisileBoar goes provisional pole position. 120.631 by the McLaren. Very good lap. Scornsey though is improving, and he's improving even more, almost 3.5 tenths up on his time through the second sector. At the moment he's going faster than VisileBoar, who is on provisional pole position at the moment. Scornsey could actually go provisional pole position. Could these times by VisileBoar and Jamie could have been just bad times, or are these times actually their best times at the moment? Scornsey is going to cross the line and he should be going provisional pole position. No, he won't go provisional pole position. He's going to go P2, 120.660. He's lost almost a tenth through that final sector, and he's going to go P2, still up into P2, but only P2. For now, he knows that there is time on the table, but is he going to be able to extract it on the next lap? We will see. F1 Kid is up on his time by 2.5 tenths up on his time. At the moment, he's going to be going in front of VisileBoar, but behind his teammates Scornsey and VisileBoar. Now he's getting slightest of slipstreams there by the Mercedes, but just the slightest. By the way, I want to point out right now, the Mercedes have the exact same time, 21.112. F1 Kid is going to cross line. He's going to go provisional pole position. No, he won't. He's going to go P3 and 4 thousandths in front of VisileBoar. 120.803. VisileBoar at the moment is on a flyer too, as F1 Kid has stopped his lap. Now, is he going to be able to improve to the first sector? Yes, he is, but by 25 thousandths. Which is of course good. I don't going in front of F1 Kid, but there is still almost 2 tenths to VisileBoar, so we'll see if he's gonna be able to improve through that second sector. We'll see. Oh, there's strength spun in turn 7. In the meantime, Alex on a flyer too, probably, but I think only VisileBoar is on a flyer. He's purple through the second sector at least, so we can maybe think that he's improving on his time. Now, Alex is going to be crossing the line first, but he's not improving. He's 3.5 tenths down his time, and he's going to be down his time, yeah, by a lot. So, we're going with VisileBoar. Hasn't invalidated, which is good. he has good enough fuel, and VisileBoar is going to be provisional pole position. Yes, he does. 120.572 by the Alfa Romeo. This is absolutely beautiful by the Italian. And at the moment, provisional pole position. Although still, Jamie still hasn't done his second timed lap, and probably the final one at this point. But still, a second one. He's only done only one timed lap. Alex not improving. Consola not on a flyer. Shax, we'll see. Trent, we'll see as well. I think, yeah, he's on a flyer. Shax, he's just 68,000 down his time, so he's definitely on a flyer. Trent, can he replicate his time and his attempt? The first attempt that he did, at that attempt, he could have gone provisional pole position, but now with the time is went faster by about 3/10, 2 to 3/10. He may not be able to go provisional pole position, but at least up there too close to F1 Kid and Jamie, which is of course going to be helpful for his countryman VisileBoar. Now Trent through the second sector, 53.544. I don't think it's the same sort of third sector that we've seen him earlier do in his first attempt. I don't think so, but my memory could be going bad as VisileBoar retires, as well Alex does. Trent through the final corner still has a little bit, no, not anymore, that's deployment. Shax as well retires. Trent, where is he gonna go? He's gonna go P7, 121.005, so he's still very good up there. At the moment, Jamie through the first sector, 65,000 up on his time. Younger boy, he's just started his lap. SLK spun through the penultimate corner. Doesn't look like that he's damaged. Doesn't look like that he hit the wall as he spins a second time. Jamie now, he's gonna be starting the third sector as he's gonna go through the second sector split. He's up by 0.2 of a second. And if he keeps that, he's gonna be in front of Vabo, but behind VisileBoar. So he still needs to improve through that third sector. Is he gonna be able to improve through that third sector? Remember, VisileBoar is retired. Jamie, I don't know, does he know this? But Jamie can take provisional pole position with his championship rival not being able to improve, and then just Jamie gonna be able to go provisional pole position. No, he doesn't. Goes P2, 120.609. So I don't. VisileBoar is still up there. Younger boy not improving on his time. 0.2 down his time through that second sector. Chesney starting his final flying lap. Younger boy is able to improve. Did he find some time at least to the final sector? Yes, he did actually, but by 3,000. Still an improvement, but not that, unfortunately, is going to matter much unless one of the Mercedes boys is going to go incredibly close to them, to him. Chesney improving by 0.2, while Chimp, no idea. Now, the two Aston Martins are as well one of the hot topics to watch out for pole position. Vabo is improving by 1.5 through the second sector. Vabo is at the moment going for potential pole position at the moment. F1 Kid improving to the first sector by a 10th, while Scorenzy not improving. He's down on his time by a 10th. Chesney and Chim go P6 and 7. But now, Vabo exiting the final corner, and DR is open. He's going to cross the line. He's going to be able to go provisional pole position. Yes, he does by half a tenth, 120.525 by the McLaren reserve. Now, Consola is going to finish, his AI is going to finish the lap. Chesney, where is he going to go? At the moment, Vabo is on provisional pole position with the VisileBoar. The best that you can think of is P2 and Jamie P3. Chesney P12 stays 121.457. He did improve, but not enough. Now the two Aston Martin scores he hasn't validated, so his best is going to be P4 unless F1 Kid is going to be able to respond and go maybe provisional pole position. Yes, he does by 0.006 of a second by the Aston Martin. F1 Kid is on pole position here in Qatar, snatches it away from the McLaren reserve from Vabo by just 6,000, which is incredible on this track, that you need so much confidence, so much precision with as well the track limits, and just to be on absolute limit. But F1 Kid snatches the pole position from VisileBoar by 6,000, VisileBoar 53,000 behind, Jamie P4 with 90,000 behind. So the top 4 is by under a 10th split, or the top 4 is in under a 10th. Then we have Scornsy in P5 with 120.660. Then the 2 Mercedes of Szczesny and Chip, they're being very good in terms of the team-wise at the moment, at least in the mid-pack. Then we have Yengoy P8, Trent P9, Eclipse P10, Alex P11, Szczesny P12, Kosla P13, SLK P14, Laurie P15, Shax P16, Illyrian no time, Vumpy no time, and Fresh as well no time. For Vumpy, it is going to be a very difficult race to start from the last row of the grid. Well, technically no, the second last, because Fresh is P19. Oh my goodness me. I'm gonna need that drink. Oh yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. So yeah, it is gonna be a very exciting race, especially with the championship going on. In the constructors and in the drivers, but it's gonna be more focus on the drivers, because fucking constructors, the fucking calculations on that, they're horrendous. I tried once in a one league to do them. They are absolutely fucking horrendous. You need to think of one car of one team, and then the second car, and then fucking hell, it's just so fucked up. It's just so fucked up. All the possibilities with fucking 4 cars instead of 2. And it's all 2 cars for one team, so basically 2-2. Then yeah, you get the point. It's fucking horrendous. I don't wish anybody to go through that pain. It's just so bad. As we go, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and it's gonna be lights out, and away we go here in Qatar. F1 Kid on the hearts, getting a good start. Scorsy in the back, getting a beautiful start. Already overtaken VisileBoar and Jamie, and he's already up into P3. Beautiful by the Aston Martins, who is fighting with VisileBoar. F1 Kid side by side into turn 2, and is VisileBoar gonna be able to hold it around the outside? Yes, he does, and he's in front of him. Yellow's behind that Szczesny spawn, as with Konsila and Laurie, massive pile up behind. With Vampire already up into P14, Illidan 13, and Fresh 15. VisileBoar takes the lead of the race in the first sector, using those mediums to his advantage. Now, what the others are thinking, Scornsy is on the softs. That's why he's being able to that's why he was able to just jump the, well, not literally jumps the start, but getting such a good start off the line, and already before turn 1 he was already in front of Jamie and VisileBoar. And this explains as well why F1 Kid lets Scornsy through. Now, of course, they need to be close to VisileBoar now. To that third lap. Trent in the meantime has dropped down to P18 as well. Vumpy already up into P12 from P18, so it's a good start by Vumpy, but still outside of the points. And in this fucking train that it is in Qatar, look at that fucking train of cars. It's just gonna be impossible to overtake with the DRS, because everyone is just gonna have DRS. The ERS management is absolutely horrendous on this track. The fuel management is absolutely horrendous. So we will see what the drivers have done with the fuel wise. VisileBoar in the meantime is behind Jamie and F1 Kid. So at the moment the championship is going to the final race of the season. But of course the race is long. We still have 27 laps of the Grand Prix. So still plenty to happen, plenty of laps for someone to bottle it, someone to get a penalty, because on this track as well, like I said already in qualifying, the fucking penalties and track limits are the worst on this track, probably the worst probably in terms of how much you can get. Consola spun on the X of turn 10, and that's cost a full safety car. This somewhat benefits, well, no one really, besides the cars that have been spun, and they were several seconds behind the top pack. This benefits them, and of course this benefits the drivers that have damage, as Illyrian pits and Fresh pits. Vampy stays out. It's kinda, I mean, on the first lap it is kinda dependent. It really depends if you have damage or not. Fresh for the mediums, and probably Illyrian as well. Yeah, both of them for the Fresh mediums. Probably they were going for medium. The tire advantage is going to be very minimal for them. It's going to be like a 10th a lap, maybe. Yeah, probably around a 10th to maybe little closer to 2/10, but closer to 1/10 maybe on a lap. So they will need to really push on them. But also they were gaining a lot on the drivers that will be pitting on the hard next time, which will be Vabo, Scorenzy probably. Although he's probably going to be going for the soft medium strategy. Gonna try. Then of course Chesney, Riz, Clipsy, F1 SLK, Chesney. Those will be pitting for hards, and then the rest will be pitting for mediums. Probably. There's of course Scorenzy that we don't know. And then of course you can be someone is gonna try and go for medium soft maybe. We'll see. We'll very much see in the end of the in the middle of the race. So yeah, still plenty to go. And the race lap 3 out of 29. 29. But the other one, full safety car, so nothing really much to worry about in terms of is anyone going to spin it, if anyone is going to do a mistake overall. And yeah, this sort of isn't great for Scorenzy, because of course that advantage on the softs would have been nice to have already immediately. Of course he did gain a lot on that start. He gained from P5 to P3 already before the first corner, and then he overtook F1 Kid, which probably was tactical between them. I doubt that it was just Scorenzy actually overtaking F1 Kid. F1 Kid probably just thought that, well, I have hard, he has softs, I might just let my teammate through. Because first of all, my teammate, second of all, he has bloody softs. Those softs are fucking quick on the first opening laps compared to hards, which are a little dead compared to softs on the first laps. But then they will quickly even out, and quickly as well hards will go to that territory that they'll be quicker than softs actually. So yeah, it is sort of a compromise for Scorenzy. I mean, the first opening laps will be massive for him. He'll need to push on those softs as much as possible, which he's unable to at the moment. Safety car, so he has to maintain a speed behind the safety car. So yeah, it is what it is. Now this safety car of course helped out Laurie, Trent, Chesney. They were spun in the first corners of the opening laps. I don't know if that's really helps Vampy at all. I've actually no clue. But we'll see. Safety car in this lap, of course. So Vabo is going to be controlling the pace. I'm going to be able to do what pace he wants. Of course, no erratic pace changes in terms of from being absolutely a snail to going and then braking. Of course, if it's a corner, then yeah, of course you have to brake for a corner. If you go full speed, as Vabo slowly going into that final corner, he's going wide, and he's going to get a good exit. Still not going. Kind of faked this, Scorenzy. When is he gonna go? Throttle input. Go a little high. Does a rest. Now he's going. Yet not green flag, but we'll have green flags. Now we have green flags. So we are back a racing. The two Aston Martins go side by side into turn 1. And what's gonna happen between them? Hopefully nothing too bad. No contact, hopefully, between them. But they're still going side by side now into turn 2. This is, of course, not good in terms of the gap to VisileBoar. But at the moment, it looks like F1 Kid is in front of Scornsy. So the soft tire strategy for Scornsy at the moment is not going to plan. Of course, now Jamie looked for a look up the inside into turn 6, but then immediately thought, no, F this. In the meantime, in the back, Vumpy opposite P11 with Trent and Illyrian. Oh, there's plenty of scraps in here. Illyrian in front of Laurie. But in front, VisileBoar still leading, 7 tenths in front of F1 Kid. Of course, VisileBoar with those mediums, he's going to be faster than F1 Kid. Scornsy at the moment should be faster than F1 Kid. Basically, he should be able to keep up with F1 Kid. With VisileBoar right behind Jimmy's ass. Oh my goodness me. Excuse me on that. Didn't expect that to be that big, but excuse me on that again. Jamie went a little wide. Now VisileBoar is going to the right to break that slipstream. VisileBoar is not going for the move on Jamie. So Jamie is still in front of VisileBoar behind. Illyrian there side by side with Shax and Illyrian still in front of Shax. Meanwhile, behind, fresh in front of Trent. And Chesney trying to overtake Laurie up to P17, but Laurie still looks to be in front of Chesney, and Laurie is indeed in front of Chesney into turn 4 and 5. There's the whole grid is in a DRS train actually. The furthest gap is actually in between F1 Kid and VisileBoar at the moment. With 8 to 7 tenths at the moment, roughly. Behind Illyrian and SLK, a little bit going through between each other, literally. But Illyrian is in front of SLK now. His next target is Vumpy, who is right behind Alex. He's going to be trying to overtake him, of course, somewhere in here. With SLK, what is happening with his race, with his internet? He's getting overtaken by Fresh even into the penultimate corner. You don't see that very much often, and now he's getting overtaken by his teammate around the outside into the final corner. Trent is going to probably have a better exit. DRS enabled now. And what is happening to SLK? He has absolutely no sort of power at all on the... Anyway, he has no pace, he has nothing, he's just dropped down like the Yenga Tower, the flipping game, as Laurie is fighting with Trent, and Laurie is up to P17, overtaking Trent. So from P17 to P15 for Laurie. Now that fight has caused them to lose the DRS on Shaq, so... And it's all fresh, not in the DRS of Illyrian at the moment. So we have a massive DRS chain from P1 to P12. That the DRS almost got broken by Clipsy, who is just about within Chimp's 1 second. Now with the DRS, F1 Kid will be able to close in on VisileBoar a lot into turn 1. We'll see if he's going to be able to overtake him. I don't think he'll be able to overtake him. The gap is a little too big, although this straight is big in itself. VisileBoar is breaking the slipstream, and it doesn't look like that Kid is gaining much on the straight, so VisileBoar still leading. With behind Alex and Clipsy, there's 3 wide going into turn 1 almost, side by side with Vampy and Alex now. Clipsy couldn't really defend from the 2 RBs, and now Alex and Vampy side by side into turn 2 and into turn 3, still side by side, but on the exit Alex maintains in front of Vampy. Behind them Illyrian and Eclipse trying to go side by side into turn 4. Illyrian trying to go around the outside of him, but that failed. And Eclipse is still in P11. Eclipse goes a little wide on the exit of turn 6. Yellow's behind. That's Shaq's spawn. That's Shaq's out of the Grand Prix, and that's a safety car. Now, this is a safety car that is really gonna benefit the medium runners, and especially Scorenzy, because this is the lap where Hearts should be able to make it from this point onwards. Well, maybe a little bit earlier, but they should be able to make it from this lap to the end of the race. Hard runners are a little bit in a bad situation. We'll see what they will be pitting. Of course, Scorenzy is in a win or lose situation, because win the fact that's good timing of the pit stop, but as well he's going for a double stack with his teammate, so he's gonna lose plenty of positions. VisileBoar going for the hards. Well, let's see what's F1 Kid is going for the mediums. That's gonna be a long ass stint on the mediums. Scorenzy now is thinking, just get on with it, get on with it. Engineers, pit crew, and he's P6 behind Chesney, so VisileBoar P4. So in the end, he didn't lose too much time, too many positions, but still we have to think about that he was P3 and not P6. As the same with Vumpy, he was P9, P10. Now he's P12, just because of the double stack with his teammate VisileBoar, and as well Chimp double stacks with his teammate Chesney. Young Boy didn't seem to get much affected. I mean, of course, now Chesney is in front of him. I don't know if they were always in front of. If the Mercedes were in front. Oh, well, this ain't great for Jimmy. Thankfully, the car didn't retire, but this definitely isn't great for him. That his car, he has been disconnected from the game. Now, I don't think I have him added in the EA, so I don't think I will be able to invite him. No, I don't have him. So he's gonna have to get an invite from F1 Kid or someone else from his group, or anyone else really. If anyone really could make it, could do it. That there is. Okay, so thankfully Jamie hasn't missed out on anything. Of course, this would have been beautiful for VisileBoar, that Jamie would have still been disconnected while the safety car would have been restarted, but it is what it is, and he's gonna have to actually overtake Jamie, unless Jamie is not gonna be able to take this car, which he hasn't been able to take. So Jamie is back in his car. In the top 4, we have the 3 championship contenders, with Vumpy down in P12, of course, with his quali ban, and with that, with those pits, with the double stacks. So he has been down to P12 from P10, which of course isn't great. So yeah, we'll see what Vumpy is going to be able to do in this remaining part of the Grand Prix. Now, the hard runners, VisileBoar, Chesney and Scorenzy, should be able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. Should be. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check just one thing. In one of the Discords, one of the Strategia stuff. Qatar. Yeah, lifespan until cliff/puncture. These are from SimRacingCentre. I didn't pay for them. Those things are way too expensive, and I'm not gonna be able to buy them anyways. So lifespan until cliff/puncture, 19 to 22 laps. which is definitely possible on the hard tire. Now the mediums will be slightly bit worse because they're from 19 to 16, lifespan to a cliff/puncture. So this is a high risk area that we're talking for mediums. Either they're gonna have to risk it for a biscuit, or risk it for a championship, some of these, or they're gonna pit, do a safe option, pit, I don't know, for softs later on and just do a late charge on these. VisileBoar again controlling the pace, but he's already gone. He's gone very, very early in this restart, and VisileBoar on the exit of the final corner is full on throttle while taking the exit of the penultimate corner. Alex, the first one to get a 3 seconds, and we have green flag racing back again. F1 Kid close to VisileBoar now, with F1 Kid having the better tires now. That the roles have been switched. VisileBoar is now on the worst tire. This means that F1 Kid will be able to overtake VisileBoar more easily and catch up to VisileBoar more easily through the corners and keep up with him. The same with Jamie and VisileBoar. The drivers behind Szczesny and Skorzy, they will have to somehow get ahead of them, or just do something so that will benefit them later on in the race. Alex, like I said already, 3 second time penalty for him. Vumpy is gonna have to think carefully as well in this Grand Prix what he's gonna do later on, when he's gonna risk it, when he's gonna not risk it, go for a move or not. That is gonna be his decisions. Or if he has an engineer, then his as well, maybe. Now, F1 Kid close to VisileBoar, exiting the final corner now. He's using ERS. He's gonna have to try and get himself in front of VisileBoar. VisileBoar is using probably as well ERS, not anymore. Jimmy getting a fastest lap. F1 Kid goes to the inside into turn 1, sends it down inside, and is in front of VisileBoar. VisileBoar has no answer to that. Calypsy, 3 second time penalty for him as well. F1 Kid, like I said, takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And now Jimmy and VisileBoar will be able to think of their attacks on VisileBoar as well. But VisileBoar is going to close on F1 Kid, but not close enough to send it into turn 6. Now let's look at the ERS management side. Probably the least ERS that the driver has at the moment from this top 4 is F1 Kid with about 40%. VisileBoar with about 60, Jimmy with about 80, and VisileBoar having pretty much the same amount like Jimmy. We'll see, of course, how this whole thing will turn out, and especially for the mini runners, especially on the top, what they will do. Will they pit for soft or again mediums? Or will they stay out on those mediums and risk it that their tires will explode in this race? Now, with VisileBoar being close on F1 Kid, is using ERS and slipstream as well. Now that he doesn't have. ERS has been enabled. VisileBoar in front of F1 Kid, and VisileBoar back into the race lead in front of F1 Kid. Retakes his race lead that he lost the lap previous, and I don't. VisileBoar is looking very good in terms of pace in this race. On the mediums, he was kind of pulling away from F1 Kid a little bit. While F1 Kid was on the hards, while he was on the mediums. Vumpy overtaking Fresh. We'll see if that was clean. I mean, nothing too bad, I guess, happened. I mean, Vumpy in front of Fresh. But back to my point, what I was trying to make. VisileBoar on the hards looks very good compared to F1 Kid, and he's actually extending his gap for quite some margin. Actually, it's 7/10 between them. VisileBoar, his pace is looking absolutely beautiful. Probably one of the fastest at the moment. And with F1 Kid having DRS, he probably won't be able to catch up to him for an overtake. VisileBoar not going for a slipstream of Jimmy. Now he of course gets the slipstream because Jimmy has got back to the racing line. Behind Scorns, he goes for the move on Chesney, and as well Yingaboy is going to be going for the move on Chesney. Race on the inside. The race is going to be now on the inside into turn 2. Yingaboy on the outside. And Yingaboy now on the outside, now on the inside. And he's up to P7. Chesney 3 seconds. Alex right behind Chesney race. He's as well looking for an overtake behind Fresh, dropping down places. Spun into turn 4. By who was that? Closest one was probably Illyrian and Trent. One of those two. Doubted that he lost it just on his own. Doubt it, but we'll see in the reports what's happened there. Who hit him in the back, but that's Illyrian, focus on the race. We'll see what will happen. Jimmy 3 seconds. Jimmy 3 seconds. This is massive for the championship at the moment. Of course, with the lead. Well, with Jimmy in front of VisileBoar with no penalties earlier, he could have been very nicely in front of. Well, not in front. Just the gap would have been small as Jimmy goes for the dive bomb down inside into turn 1. Illyrian retires in the pits. F1 Kid and Jimmy side by side into turn 2 now. But the F1 Kid had the inside line to defend now into turn 3 and into turn 4. They're going to be side by side. Jimmy's again on the outside. F1 Kid on the inside. And they're still side by side into the next corner, that is turn 5, and to turn 6. They're still side by side, but Jimmy is so far in front that I think Jimmy will be able to be in front. Yes, he is being able to be in front, but this whole fighting means that Vabo has pulled out the gap of over 1 second. It is 1.1 seconds, almost 1.2 seconds from Vabo to Jimmy. Jimmy is going to have to push now even more on this lap to catch up to Vabo, but that gap has risen to 1.3 seconds. This is beautiful for Vabo. With as well Jimmy having 3 seconds. This is absolutely textbook work and drive from Vabo, with just not being in the fight. Of course, he doesn't have any sort of ERS, while Jimmy has no ERS either. F1 Kid has a little bit of it. VisileBoar has plenty of it. He has been ERS saving pretty much the whole race. Now we'll see, is F1 Kid going to be going for the move on Jimmy? And the answer is yes. Around the outside, is Jimmy gonna try and hang inside? Yes, he does, trying to go hang it in the inside. This of course again pace on the gap into Vabo. That is already 1.8 seconds. Vabo is absolutely flying in this Grand Prix. He's absolutely loving it. And he's looking to be a winner of this Grand Prix as of right now. Of course, still 13 laps to go, so a lot can happen. With Jimmy as well, 3 seconds will mean that VisileBoar will be in front of Jimmy. And actually, I mean, at the moment, it is so fine margins between Scornsy and Jammy that it will change. Jimmy, what has happened? How the hell did VisileBoar get him through the turn 9 and 10 complex? Or complex, more I would say, turns. Anyways, VisileBoar is in front of Jimmy. And this means that at the moment, with the penalties being applied, Jimmy would be behind Scornsy, so he would be... Oh, Jimmy is going into the pits. What has happened? Mascherano was oversteering in there as well. What is happening to Jimmy? Is that going to be a front wing change? Is it a front wing change? No, it isn't. Just going for the fresh mediums, although only 7 laps on those mediums. That is very interesting. In the meantime, Bumpy. Oh, there's a Red Bull in front. That's a spun. That's Alex in front of them. But in the meantime, Bumpy has overtaken Trent, Chimp, and Chesney. Riz in the turn 1. or at least the two Mercedes, and as well Alex, who has just lost it on his own, I believe, through turn 1. Alex down to P15. Bumpy, his championship is somewhat back, as he is P6, with of course Jimmy. Bumpy 3 seconds. I was gonna say that his championship is slightly revived, but with that 3 seconds will be massive blow to him for the championship a little bit. A little blow to his championship. I should say not a big one. Is he gonna get that removed? Okay. Unless he's gonna get more warnings, then he's not, of course. Yellows, that's Alex. That's Alex slow. What is going on with Alex in this race at the moment? Anyways, Jimmy with the... okay. So I see. With Jimmy now having clean air, he'll be able to just lap the field. Lap the field. He's gonna be able to lap the track quicker compared to the others who are in the used mediums and hards. Clipsy and Chesney in the meantime fighting side by side into turn 1 and turn 2. Clipsy, a little bit contact between them, a little bit of a block pass by Chesney. But at the moment, Chesney looks to be in front of Clipsy, as well as Laurie in front is trying to look for a move on SLK, not being able to move it up to P10, and Clipsy not being able to go up to P12, with Fresh looking behind, lurking a little bit. Alex 3 seconds. Yeah, Alex's race is not looking great, as VisileBoar has caught up to Vabo a lot. He has used all of his ERS, that's why he has caught up plenty to Vabo. But at this point, Vabo is looking very good in this race to go for the win, because he has the pace. The driver behind him, that is VisileBoar, has no ERS and has no DRS on the car in front, on anyone really. Vumpy into the pits. Now we'll see where Vumpy is gonna be. How far behind Jimmy is he gonna be? That's as well the question. SLK is getting overtaken by Laurie into turn 1, well, pretty much on the straight, you could say. And Laurie is up as a P9. Clipsy in front of Chesney as well. Vumpy is gonna be behind Alex, of course, because he's pitted for the softs. But Vumpy has pitted for a new set of mediums. In front, VisileBoar is catching up to Vabo, actually. Little bit. The gap has gone down from 1.4 to 1.3 seconds. So VisileBoar is slightly catching up. But on those hards, Vabo is going to be able to go till the end of the race, whilst VisileBoar is not going to be able to go until the end of the race, unfortunately. Unless he's going to absolutely risk it for his championship. At the moment, it is looking very good for him. Because, well, of course, Jimmy and Vumpy down there, but they have pitted. Vabo going into the pits? Now that's something I didn't expect, okay? That's something I didn't expect. I would have thought that Vabo would have tried to go until the end of the race, but he doesn't. Now let's see what the tires are going to be going. Mediums for Vabo, at least. Where is flipping VisileBoar? Mediums as well. F1 Kid as well. Mediums. In the meantime, there's almost 3 wide into turn 1 between the two Mercedes and an Alfa Romeo of Trent, and somehow it says Chimp has a little bit pushed Trent off track there, but it is a little bit on the side of, you could debate that it was hard racing. In the meantime, Jamie has gone in front of Vabo, but Vabo has 3 lap fresher soft mediums, and as well Jimmy has no what am I talking about? Jimmy has penalties while Vabo has got nothing. But in this time, F1 Kid is outside of that 1 second to that DRS, which is not great for him. Now he's gonna have to catch back up to VisileBoar a lot, who has to now keep up with Vabo on the same compound of tires. You could maybe make an argument that VisileBoar was actually faster than Vabo, who was on the hards, but those mediums from VisileBoar were already kind of short, as Ingaboy goes into the pits. Anyone else? Chimp goes into the pits as well, with Trent staying out. F1 SLK goes into the pits. Fresh as well. Jimmy stays out, of course. These behind Fresh are gonna stay out till the end of the Grand Prix. Ingaboy for the softs. This is gonna be very interesting. Chimp as well for the softs. Now Vabo is probably going for the move on Jimmy into turn 1, and he's gonna be easily going for it into turn 1. Even before turn 1, Vabo moves up into the lead of the Grand Prix. Official, well, not really official lead of the Grand Prix, because there is still Trent, Chesney, and Scornsy in front of them. Now, with Scornsy and Chesney race, I'm kind of hoping that they're going to be trying to go until the end of the race. It is good possibility, because the drivers behind them could fight as well for their positions. Alex 22.689, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. They could try, especially Scornsy, because the gap between from Vabo to Scornsy is 14 seconds almost. It is almost 14 seconds, and it is 8 laps to go. So, Vabo, Jamie, VisileBoar, and F1 Kid, who is not in that DRS, so I'm just gonna count these 3, unless F1 Kid manages to catch back up to them. VisileBoar right behind his championship rival, Jamie. This is absolutely beautiful for VisileBoar at the moment. F1 Kid behind him, Vampy behind him, with no DRS, of course, on each other. Jamie with a 3-second and with worse tires. VisileBoar going for the move on Jamie, although Jamie is side by side with him still. It looks like they're still going to be side by side, of course. This is going to be now. Are they gonna fight for that P5 at the moment? Jamie blocks him to go around the outside. Now VisileBoar's gonna try and go around the outside, although Jamie gets a little bit out of shape. And this is beautiful news for Vabo, who is pulled out a 1.4 seconds gap because of that fighting between him, Alex, in the pits. So the race is still going. VisileBoar somehow needs to overtake Jimmy as quickly as possible. Basically ASAP. Vabo is gaining, of course, on the leaders in the cars in front, but I kind of hope that these drivers are still gonna stay out and try and go for a risk, especially Scornsy, because he can go for the win. But this is gonna be now dependent on what the drivers are gonna do. F1 Kid with within 1 second of VisileBoar, who is struggling to overtake Jimmy at the moment, who is gap to Vabo, but by the way, 3 seconds, and another to Jamie, who is struggling to keep up with Vabo, and the gap is 2.5 seconds, bumpy another 3 seconds, who is struggling to keep up with Vabo at all, 2.6 seconds behind him, and now VisileBoar easy overtake on Jamie, almost contact between them. And now F1 Kid is going to have an easy overtake as well on Jimmy into turn 1 on the inside. So F1 Kid is back in business to go for potential P2 at the moment. But there's still not P2 because there's still Trent, Chesney and Scornsy in front of them. So they'll need to overtake them as quick as possible. Of course, overtake them is one thing, but as well catch them is one thing, but then as well overtake them is another. Chesney and Loremi are still fighting, this time for P12, and Chesney should be able to be in front. Yes, he is, especially that he's on the softs, but he has a penalty, while Lori has no penalties whatsoever. Vabo to Scornsy. What's the gap? It is 9.7 seconds with 6 laps to go. Vabo is absolutely going at it, but VisileBoar is catching up to Vabo. The gap has gone down from 2.5 seconds to 2.2 seconds. Vabo has almost no ERS. VisileBoar has clearly no ERS. SLK 3 seconds. Now Vabo almost lost it on the exit of the final corner. At least it looked like the gap has gone down to 2.1 seconds. VisileBoar is absolutely going at it. Behind him, he has F1 Kid. He has the DRS, but not close enough to go for a move. Chesney, 3 seconds as well. Chesney Riss in front is trying to pull off the strategy that I was thinking that Vabo could maybe think of doing, but he's actually not doing that. He's actually going for the 2-stop and trying to go medium. Well, technically hard medium. No, actually, yeah, hard. No, medium hard medium. Sorry, medium hard medium. Still, anyways, VisileBoar catching, although just a tiny bit at the moment. It's down to 2 seconds to 1.9. It is just about hovering around there, but VisileBoar is slightly catching up to him. But is that slightly going to be enough? At this pace, not enough. It's not going to be enough for VisileBoar to catch up to Vabo. Vabo is already 2.4 seconds behind Chesney, who has the DRS on Trent. That DRS is going to be crucial. Jimmy, another 3-second time penalty for Jimmy. This championship is looking to be over, as well as Vampy. It is looking like for their championships, it is looking over at the moment. VisileBoar at the moment P5, with F1 Kid P6, Jimmy P7 with 9 seconds. He could be dropping down to Vampy at this point, Yengaboy and Chimp. So he's going to be outside of the points, while VisileBoar is going to be P5 at least at this point. And Vampy as well could be in P9. So yeah, it's not looking great for these two. In the meantime, Fresh and Clipsy going for the moves on Chesney. Clipsy just about send it a late one on Chesney, who went wide. So Chesney has dropped down to P13. At the moment, Haas are not scoring any more points in this Grand Prix unless something happens in the front. VisileBoar 1.9. He is, like I said, 2 previous laps. He's just about gaining, but that gain is just not good enough to catch up to Vabo. He's just that slightly bit gaining, but not enough. Vabo is gaining on Chesney, Riss, and Trent. Is he going to be able to get the DRS on the next straight? The answer is gonna be yeah, no. It's gonna be no. It's gonna be a hard no. By the Lord of the Gaps. And Jamie going to the pits. Is he gonna retire there? Is he gonna retire? Yes, he has. The championship is officially over for Jamie. He is out of the championship. As a result of that, Chesney and Trent have switched places. Chesney Riss is in front of Trent. But this leaves only, well, technically 3 drivers to go in this championship. At the end as well, I believe, as they needed to outscore them by 17 points. At the moment, Aston Martin look to be outscoring AlphaTauri at this rate. Now, Vabo, he's gonna need to overtake Trent and Chesney in these laps. These two will be crucial for scoring Z. Chesney Riss and Trent 49 Dolaro. These two will be crucial for Scorenzy to go for the win of the Grand Prix. The gap is 5.2 seconds from Riss to Scorenzy. Scorenzy is going to be starting the lap 27 out of 29. Vabo close behind Trent, but these two still have some sort of ERS. Vabo is using all of his ERS, but he's not being able to go for the move on Trent, but he's going to be able to go for the move on Chesney, and he's going for the move close between them all. Chesney Riss is trying to hang in the inside. Vabo is trying to do something. A contact between them. Chesney Riss into the wall there. Vabo could be, well, this is going to be very interesting for the final. For the stewards, Vabo is going to go for the send on Trent. Yes, he is going to go for the send into turn 6. Trent doesn't. He's lost it on the exit, so Trent is going to go in front. Although, is he going to be able to go around the outside, though, of Trent? Yes, he does. Now, this, of course, all these shenanigans bought a little bit of lifeline to Scorenzy. Scorenzy is going to be soon starting the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. with 6 seconds between them. This is going to be crucial. VisileBoar is trying to overtake Trent, his countryman, and everywhere, anywhere, to still be close. This, of course, the stuff between Trent and VisileBoar has bought some time, just currency, but as well has brought closer VisileBoar and F1 Kid to VisileBoar. Now with Trent, he has the DRS, but as well VisileBoar has the DRS, and as well F1 Kid. VisileBoar is probably gonna have to try and go for the inside, and he's gonna go to the inside into turn 1. F1 Kid is gonna as well overtake Trent. Out on its side, they're pushing each other to just go there, and VisileBoar is in front of Trent with F1 Kid. So Trent is down to P5 at the moment. His best finish is at the moment P5. Scornsy looks to be for the W in this Grand Prix. VisileBoar is not particularly gaining on VisileBoar enough. He's not gaining on him enough. The gap is 5.2 seconds. Scornsy, for the risk to go to the end of the Grand Prix on these hards that VisileBoar didn't go, could be paying out for Scornsy. Now VisileBoar as well has to think about behind, who has VisileBoar, who is going for the championship, for as well AlphaTauri, but as well for himself, because he needs to outscore F1 Kid by little points, I believe, like by 3 points. I think so. Jamie was by 8 points, who is out of the contention. Vampy is running P6. Scornsy starts the final lap of the Grand Prix. VisileBoar has the DRS on VisileBoar. Is he going to go for the inside into turn 1? Or outside, he's going to think. And is he going to be able to overtake him? Little bit because of me. VisileBoar spun and immediate reset to track by desperation. What the hell has happened there? F1 Kid up into P2 because of that. With what was that between VisileBoar and VisileBoar getting a little bit too close between each other? This is looking to be an Aston Martin 1-2 out of fucking nowhere. F1 Kid was almost all the time behind VisileBoar in these final stint, and Scornsy, who was all the time behind them, and as well not even close to them. Scornsy is looking to take his first win of the HOR league, of his HOR career, with 2 corners to go. And then 1 corner to go, the final turn 16. He has enough fuel to go. Final corner, the exit of it, and then the final straight. The air is not open, but he's gonna cross the line to win his first Grand Prix of the season. The risk has paid off to Scornsy, and F1 Kid is gonna take P2, the Aston Martin 1-2, the most that they needed for the constructors. Both of the championships are still alive for the drivers and the constructors, with Aston Martin 43 points. 43 points, and AlphaTauri only P5 and P18. That is 10 and 4 points. That is 14 points. 43 minus 14. That is 29 points. That Aston Martin have outscored AlphaTauri. So the championship is still alive for constructors and for the drivers. Disaster for VisileBoar. He had the championship win in his sight. He had it on the final lap into turn 1 around the outside. But I don't know what the hell has happened between VisileBoar and Vampy. All of a sudden, just slightest bit of contact. Vampy just lost it. VisileBoar lost it. And then VisileBoar, of course, with acts of desperation, reset the track, which I don't think it is legal. Still, I have no clue. It is a little bit too hard to think of all the different regulations for every single league. But Scornsy starting P5, and the risk has paid off to stay out, not to stay out, but from the soft to hard. His absurd strategy, let's be honest, to start on the softs and then to stay out on the hards till the end of the Grand Prix has paid him off. He has won the Qatari Grand Prix with Aston Martin 1-2. What a way to do it when you need it the most. Vabo rounds off the top 3, although we'll be seeing what is going to happen there. Then Trent P4 as well. Well done to him on that strategy. I think the driver of the day could be going to Scorenzy, of course. I mean, if you don't vote for Scorenzy, then either you hate him or you're biased to anyone that is on that vote going to be. But obvious nominations: Scorenzy, Vabo. Honestly, even though that's contact between Chesney race and then now with VisileBoar, he still had a very good weekend going on. He showed very good pace, unfortunately, with all the stuff happened. And, well, instead of staying out on those hards, he went for a box and decided to... Well, probably he didn't know that his chances would have gone like this. And then probably as well, the third one would be probably Trent then with the same strategy, in my opinion. But yeah, both of the championships, like I'm saying for the third time, are still wide open. Of course, AlphaTauri are going to be the favorites to win the next race, the championship, with them being in front by still quite a big margin. But this is not denying that Aston Martin can still win it. AlphaTauri have been already out of that championship from the flipping first seconds of the race when there was only one Ferrari. And the drivers is still open for F1 kid Jimmy. Unfortunately, with the penalties and whatever has happened to him, has decided to say fuck it and I don't want to do this anymore, and Vampy with the penalties and unfortunately with the quali ban that's probably already set him for slight disaster, for low chances of getting that. The extension for that championship means that he's as well out of the championship, and this means it's between the two: AlphaTauri versus Aston Martin, VisileBoar versus F1 Kid. Next week is Abu Dhabi. Are we gonna see? Okay, no, we probably won't see Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton 2021. But it's gonna be between the two teams, between the two drivers. Abu Dhabi next week for Tier 1, 8 p.m. of UK, Friday. Yeah, so just be ready for the finale. But I don't have anything else to say. My co-commentator, which is dead because no one is here. Pera was supposed to be here, but didn't show up. He's not here, so I have nothing else much to say other than be ready for the next Grand Prix, because that is going to be the title decider and probably the final race that is going to be on the F1 23 game, at least for HOR at the moment, and probably for me in general. So anyways, see you next week in Abu Dhabi. Have a lovely night, and just be ready for next week, 8 p.m. here next Friday, sorry. Ciao.